Did you know Steve Jobs went from a broke college dropout to building Apple into a tech empire? Hello everyone. Today, we're diving into an incredible story about a man who was once fired from the company he founded, found himself unemployed, but through relentless determination and a vision unmatched by anyone, he made a comeback that changed the entire tech world. His name is Steve Jobs. Before the iPhone landed in your hands or the half-bitten Apple logo became a global symbol, Steve Jobs faced painful setbacks that few could ever imagine. This is the journey of a person who didn't let failure define him but used it to write a legendary story. Steve Jobs was born on February 24, 1955, in San Francisco, California, under unique circumstances. He was the child of an unmarried couple, and shortly after his birth, he was adopted by Paul and Clara Jobs, a regular working-class family. From a young age, Steve was fascinated by machines. He would often take apart radios and toys in his father's garage to see how they worked. But life wasn't always easy. His family wasn't wealthy, and Steve grew up with a sense of being different, not only because of his background, but also due to his insatiable curiosity. When he entered Reed College in 1972, Steve quickly realized that school wasn't for him. He dropped out after just 6 months, with no money, no plan, just a vague belief that he would achieve something big. He wandered, slept on friends' floors, and collected empty bottles to exchange for a few cents to buy food. Steve once said, "I didn't know where I was going, but I believed everything would work out." He took calligraphy classes to kill time, not knowing that those very letters would later inspire Apple's design. In 1976, at the age of 21, Steve, along with his friend Steve Wozniak, founded Apple in his adoptive parents' garage. They worked tirelessly assembling the first computers by hand. Success came quickly. The Apple II, released in 1977, became a sensation, propelling the company from a tiny garage to a multi-million-dollar business. But as Apple grew, so did the challenges. The first failure hit hard. In 1983, Steve invited John Sculley, a director from Pepsi, to become Apple's CEO, hoping he would help the company expand. But the two quickly clashed. Steve wanted to focus on innovation, while Sculley prioritized profits. The conflict escalated, and in 1985, at the age of 30, Steve was fired from the very company he co-founded by the Apple board of directors. He lost everything: the company, his reputation, and his dream. Steve once said, "I felt like I had been stabbed in the back. I didn't know what to do next." He left Apple in shock, becoming an unemployed man with an uncertain future. But Steve didn't give up. He saw failure as an opportunity to start over. In 1985, he founded Next, a new computer company, aiming to create superior products. At the same time, he purchased Pixar, a struggling animation studio. But the road was far from smooth. The second failure came from risky moves. Next struggled from the start. Their computers were too expensive and couldn't compete with big players like IBM. Sales were low, the company constantly lost money, and Steve had to invest his own funds to keep it alive. Meanwhile, Pixar also struggled. The studio's first films didn't succeed, and it was on the brink of bankruptcy. Steve once admitted, "There were days when I thought I was wrong, that I couldn't do anything anymore." The pressure weighed heavily on him, once seen as a tech genius, now regarded as a failure. But instead of giving up, he persisted in improving his products, believing success was just a matter of time. Steve worked tirelessly with his team, adjusting strategies and never losing faith. He once told his employees, "We don't need to win right now, but we have to keep going." That perseverance finally paid off. The turning point came with a remarkable comeback. In 1995, Pixar released Toy Story, the first fully computer-animated feature film. It became a blockbuster, earning hundreds of millions of dollars and turning Pixar into a household name. At the same time, Apple, Steve's former company, was struggling due to a lack of innovation. In 1997, in a surprising move, Apple acquired Next and invited Steve back as an advisor, later appointing him CEO. Steve seized this opportunity as if it were his destiny. He cut down on products, focused on simple yet groundbreaking designs, and launched the iMac in 1998, a huge hit that brought Apple back into the game. From then on, Steve led Apple to new heights with the iPod, iPhone, and iPad products that changed the way we live, work, and entertain ourselves. He turned Apple into the world's most valuable company, becoming a billionaire and a tech legend. From an unemployed man who had been fired, Steve Jobs proved that failure is not the end, but rather an opportunity to reinvent oneself even stronger. Steve Jobs' story is about not fearing failure, but fearing not standing up again. He once said, "Getting fired from Apple was the best thing that ever happened to me. It freed me to start over." When you hold an iPhone or hear about Apple today, remember that behind it is a man who turned his darkest days into the brightest moments. What do you think about Steve Jobs' journey? If you've ever faced failure and need motivation to keep going, share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss other inspiring stories. See you next time.